Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I welcome back a good friend of mine, Mark Wright, owner of Climb On, and we're going to be talking about marketing and branding and growing your business, especially looking forward into 2022. So do not miss this episode, stick around because it's going to be an awesome video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm delighted to welcome Mark Wright back for I think the fourth time I've now had you on the channel. So really excited. The audience who watch love the content that we've been putting out, the conversations that we have. So it was only right that I get Mark back on and we cover a slightly different angle going into 2022. There's a bit of reflection to be done through some of the questions. And I'm just really excited to dive into some different topics with you, Mark, today. So thank you so much for coming back.
Aaron, good to be with you. Thank you so much for having me. I don't get invited back many places a second time, let alone a fourth. So thank you so much.
No, pleasure's all mine. So today we are going to talk about marketing. Starting up a business, a lot of people have done that through 2021. There was opportunity for those that didn't sit on their hands. So when it comes to marketing, it's been a huge part of 2021. And what I want to dive into today is someone starting, perhaps they've just started a business. Marketing is such a huge part for the branding and the growth. Where does someone start if we're looking at 2022? So let's call 2021 out the way, going into a new year. Where do they start and what's the balance between the branding and actually the growth of the business?
Well, I think the first thing to say is I think a lot of businesses fail because the owner, the entrepreneur behind the business, fails to understand the importance of marketing, of branding. If you think of any great business, Starbucks, Tesla, Apple, you think of their marketing first. You think of the entrepreneur behind it. And I think anyone out there that started their business needs to understand that people need to know who they are and what their business does if it's ever going to be successful. The more people who know and like you will buy from you. So the more people who know you can buy from you, that's called marketing. Marketing isn't putting an ad in a newspaper. People think traditionally, you've got to do ads to be marketing. I think where you start with any business is with yourself. Public speaking, podcasting, getting yourself out there, getting well known. Networking is a form of marketing. So one person who doesn't know you today, by knowing you by this afternoon, you've marketed your business. And people think you constantly have to spend money to do marketing. It's the biggest lie of all time in business. Getting yourself out there, shaking hands, giving out your business card, connecting with people on LinkedIn is marketing, and you don't need money to get started. I've been successful, I think, in business because I'm constantly getting myself out there. Like yourself, Aaron, look what we're doing right now. This is marketing, and it's costing us nothing but our time. And so I think sitting back and thinking, how can you get yourself out there? If you're a good writer, write a blog. If you're good at making videos, create a YouTube channel. Tell people that you're an expert. Show people that you're an expert in your sector, and you'll have the best 2022 of all time.
So on that, if someone is obviously doing it on a budget. So like you've just said, you don't need a huge amount of money, but what if they struggle to get themselves out there? How does someone who perhaps doesn't want to be in front of a camera or be the face of it, what alternatives are there that they can market and actually brand themselves?
There'll be something that you're good at. For example, I'm not good at reading and writing. I'm terrible at sitting at the keyboard and writing. We're just talking about your book. That scares the hell out of me. I'm comfortable right now. I'm comfortable standing on stage. So it's create a list of things that you're comfortable with and that you're good at. I wasn't good at public speaking, but I knew it was a way to take my business forward, so I did a course. I then started speaking at free stages, at networking events. The first place I ever spoke at, 4 people came. So don't expect success straight away, but you have to get started. Start by creating a podcast if you're comfortable speaking, writing a blog if you're good at writing, whatever it is. You've got to start. And if there's something that you know is going to help your business, but you're not comfortable with it, get comfortable with it. Because otherwise, failure becomes an option. They say people are more scared of public speaking than dying. For me, that's crazy, because when you get good at public speaking, it opens so many opportunities to your business and to a new network. And the people I've met through your network and through speaking on stages has changed my business. The 2 biggest customers I've ever signed up haven't come from my Google AdWords, haven't come from SEO, haven't come from advertising on the radio. They've come from public speaking. the more people who hear about you, who know you and know what you do, can buy from you. I'm constantly advocating to myself and my employees, let's get ourselves out there. Networking breakfasts, any form of advertising. We advertise at local sports teams, local events, radio, national radio, local radio, sports teams, whatever it is. I just want an eyeball. Great business owners understand to forget ROI for a second and worry about new eyeballs. How many people can see us that didn't know of us yesterday?
Yeah.
That's marketing.
Those are some great points. And what I like about what you've just said is about being the face of it. Because if someone, and these are conversations that I've had where someone wants to really grow their business but doesn't want to be the face of it.
Yeah.
You said get uncomfortable being the face of it. I mean, what little techniques, because I know people who start social media but they don't want to be the face on their social media platform. Yeah. So is it just a case of diving straight in and being the face, or is it a case of, you know, you drip feed it and you eventually reveal yourself, or do you just front it straight off?
It worries me when people don't want to be the face of their business, because it makes me question how much they believe in their business.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you really believe in what you do and you really know your product, you know your industry, you should want to be the face of it, because you should be desperate to help people.
Yeah.
And when I sit down and talk about marketing, I know there's nothing you can ask me today that I don't know about marketing, because I'm an expert. I've spent my whole career becoming an expert in marketing. If you sit down with a great doctor, a great surgeon, whatever it is, they get passionate telling you about what they're doing because they're an expert. And it makes you want, I want knee surgery from this guy because he's the best knee surgeon there is, or whatever it is. By the time I get off a stage or off a podcast, everyone watching wants to advertise with my company because they realize I know my stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to stand behind the camera and not be the face of it, you're relying on someone else to sell your business. I don't like that. That's why I don't believe in pensions. I don't want anyone else investing my money. I invest my own money.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone else advertising my company. I'll do it, thank you very much.
Do you think also, because I know this is something that gets discussed a lot, imposter syndrome? So even though someone could start their own business, they know about it, but it seems to be getting bigger that people feel this imposter syndrome, like, oh, I don't want to tell people I'm an expert, but you're saying tell people you're an expert and bring them on board, get them as a client.
100, you know, when I first started making content, or I started going on podcasts, speaking on stages, writing blogs, all of this stuff, my friends and family came out and started teasing me. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Marketer, Mr. Business, all of this stuff. What I realized is that was their insecurities coming out at me. They were jealous that they couldn't present themselves and their business in the way that I was. And listen, my business has grown exponentially because of the things that I've done. It works. The proof is in the numbers. So people are going to say this, you're going to feel a bit of imposter syndrome. Why do I think I can give advice? But at the end of the day, if you know and like what you do, you're passionate about your industry, you want to help people, and you want to grow your business, I don't know an easier, more cost-effective way than building your own personal profile and becoming a key person of influence.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's insecurities from other people. And one thing I've always said to people, and one thing I think everyone struggles with this, is like social media.
Yeah.
You've got all the live feeds in regards to stories.
Yeah.
I remember asking a certain individual, how did you grow your profile so quickly? And he turned around to me and he said, I was just always on the camera. He said, don't do photos, do videos.
Yeah.
Let people get to know you.
Yeah.
And I think everyone struggles with that in the beginning. I think it's just a thing that you don't want to put yourself out there to be judged. And as soon as you get over that, you grow so much quicker, and people go, I like him, or I'm not keen on him. But there's a decision, and then you can grow from that decision.
100%. I think, you know, it's like jumping in the pool. The first time's freezing, the second time's a bit easier. When I make the first video for the day, the first Instagram story, the first piece of content, it always feels a bit rugged. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's like second nature. Same as speaking on stage, same as speaking in public, whatever it is, you've just got to do it more. And the more you do it, the better you get. It's time. You know, it's like creating a craft. The more I've spoken in public, the better I get. I watch podcasts back, I watch talks back, and I think I said too many times. Or I could have told that story better to get the lesson or the message across. So it's constant practice, like sport or business or anything else. But it's changed my life and my career. And I have a thing about content. Quantity beats quality every time.
Yeah.
The more you can get yourself out there, the more you can get your business and message out, the better it will do for everyone, including yourself and your business.
I agree with that. And with so this is something that's come up, is quality against quantity.
Yeah.
Now, a previous guest, Damien, who I had on, said if you throw enough at a wall, it will soon stick.
100%.
So that is true very much when it comes to marketing, I think, and really pushing yourself out there. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I think you waste too much time trying to be perfect, which kind of leads me on to my next question. We are in a very digital age at the moment where social media is very heavy at the moment. It's very front with social media. So where's that balance? Is SEO still key at the moment, or is it more leverage for social media? So if someone was starting a business, where should they focus? The free social media or paying for SEO?
I had a lady last week try to tell me that companies don't need a website anymore, that they just need social media. And that's a fallacy as far as I'm concerned. I think that social media is big right now. It is the biggest area right now, and it's here to stay for the short term, but it will come and it will go. I think you need a website. SEO will die when the internet dies, which I don't think is ever going to happen.
Yeah.
SEO stands for search engine optimization, but it's so much more than that. I believe it's content optimization. Getting yourself out there on video, getting yourself out there on even things like YouTube and social media is still SEO. Okay, it's getting yourself out there and using the right tools and techniques through content to be the highest displayed on all platforms. I think that people misunderstand SEO, and that's why they think it's a waste of money or a waste of time or it takes long. If you know how to do SEO correctly, building a good website, fueling it with great content, and knowing what people are searching and linking to great websites and social media, you can be successful really quickly and dominate the competition. I don't think SEO will ever die. I think it's a great first place to start. Building a good website, having great social media, great content, it's more cost effective than people think, and it really does get you out there, and it really works. I still get 5 or 6 massive leads a day from SEO. And that's from the work I've done and the content I've created, myself getting my good PR and all of those links to our website. The way I think about marketing is like this. Every little helps, okay? Every little bit that you can do, SEO, video content, speaking, advertising, social media. I don't know where my next customer's coming from. I just know they're going to come from somewhere. So I want to be doing absolutely everything.
It's like that compound effect.
It's an omnipresence. I'm obsessed with being everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know where. People say what's working best for me. To be honest, I don't know. I'm doing so much stuff. I'm spending so much money. I'm out there, but all I know is my business is going like that. And I think sometimes we're so over analytical because we've got so many tools now, particularly in the digital world, analytics and tools that tell you how many people have seen it, how many hours, and all of this stuff. I don't want to know. I just want to get myself out in front of that person who can spend money with my business and I can help their business.
Just do the business instead of looking at the metric.
Down to the raw principles. Yeah. Because if you advertise on a billboard out there, that you don't know how many eyeballs are seeing it, you just hope that it works. I think of advertising like that, very, very raw, very caveman-like.
Yeah.
Get myself out there so people know and hear about me, and the next time they need digital marketing or one of my business's services, they think of me because they've seen it.
So 2 points off of that, where people may say, well, if you're going to get yourself out there and you're doing all these different things and spending time and possibly a little bit of money, there might be parting with some money. At what point, if you're not getting a return on your investment for the time you're putting in, when do you cut something off, say? So if you're doing a lot and you're going, I'm doing everything, this is not sustainable, at what point do you perhaps cut a tie? Or do you not? Or do you just plough through it?
So the first thing to say is you always create a budget for your business, always. I think the number one reason for failure in business is lack of financial knowledge and planning. If you have a P&L, you have a budget for your business, you'll have a line in your P&L called marketing. You'll set that at the start of the financial year. Your goal is to stick to that. How much should you spend on marketing? You don't spend from profits, you spend from turnover. 11% of your turnover should be spent on marketing. Never less, always more, but the average successful business in the UK spends 11% of its turnover on marketing. Your goal is to spend 11% on advertising, and you can shift and change as you feel and see statistically things aren't working or things are working, but you never change the number. You only change the channel. So you might find that you're advertising on the radio and it's not working. You take that budget, you move it to AdWords, you move it to billboards, you move it to whatever, but you don't change the number. People cut marketing spend because something isn't working and they save the money into their P&L and their business goes like that, goes down. Your job is to continually spend money but just change channels. And when you find that something works, you double down. If you find AdWords is working for you, you find as much money for that and you go for it.
Can you follow blueprints on this? Because if someone's trying something and it doesn't work, I know, like you said, a lot of people will just retract that and then the business dives. If they're not overly sure, so someone watching this thinking, well, I don't know where to start. Do I do a YouTube? Do I do social media? Do I add revenue, SEO, whatever it might be, radio? If they don't know what to do, can they follow a blueprint? Can they perhaps mimic another company? Do people do that?
100%. You can start with market research, looking at someone in your industry that's super successful and copying. Basically, best form of flattery is copying someone that's being successful. Success leaves clues. Every successful business owner and business I've met has pretty much the same principles. Every unsuccessful one has pretty much the same principles. I just do what the successful people are doing. But marketing works in what's called a funnel, right? And you start with the areas that are direct response, but they're going to have the biggest impact quickly. Things that are like search, Google Ads, SEO, where they're cost effective, they're quick, and you can monitor return on investment really easily. Then you work up the marketing funnel to things that it's more based on people seeing the ads, getting an understanding and an awareness. That's at the top. Facebook and social media is much more at the top of the funnel of awareness. People spend on Facebook ads and get pissed off and say, I didn't receive a load of sales. Well, are you doing SEO? Do you have a good website? Have you checked your CRO? Oh, no, but the guy down the road's done a really good job with Facebook. Yeah, but he also has a great website. He's also products at 20% less than yours. So you've got to know your stuff first, and before you spend money, just make sure that you've done the research.
And what's the take on employees? So taking on a team. So we're trying to keep that budget tight, trying to watch what we're spending whilst growing.
Yes.
And then you always hear you must have a power team. Well, a power team costs money. How do you decide at what point you take on someone? So that's the next question.
Listen, you can't go far on your own. It's impossible. I don't know any successful entrepreneurs that are a one-man team, bedroom DJs that have sort of became multimillionaires. Actually, I can't think of one. Okay, everyone I know is surrounded with great people. For me, the team comes first. If you surround yourself with great people, your success takes care of itself. I believe that every business needs a sales team. Every business. I don't know any company that doesn't need a sales team, because you need people out there. Well, I'm sitting with you here. I know I have 8 people on the road right now selling my services. 8. If I didn't have those and I'm sat here with you, my stress would be, I'm not making any money right now. Okay. Now you don't want to interview me because I'm not successful anymore. So getting that team around you early doors that you can trust, that are selling your business as good or as close to as you can, so important. So important.
But how does that work within the budget? So you've launched a business.
Yes.
They might have started it this year or going into next year, and they're thinking, okay, I've just heard what you said, I need a power team, but where's the budget coming from? Or is it just you get it off the ground, you start earning some profits, and then you're going to have to set aside?
That's it. I think the team comes first, and you rely on yourself for marketing and advertising.
Right.
You get yourself out there speaking, you get yourself out there networking, and you bring in good people as an infrastructure and that founding team around you. That's how I did it. Before I spent £1 on Google Ads or whatever, I brought good people around me, because I knew that if I start spending loads of money on marketing, bringing in loads of leads and sales,
can't cope.
I've got no people to help me run the business. So getting that infrastructure first, because once the infrastructure is correct, you can scale up exponentially. But if that is broken before you start to scale, you're just going to be compounding on really poor structure and creating a bad reputation for yourself and the business.
There's some amazing points there. I hope everyone's noting this down, whoever's watching. So what I would say now is putting you on the spot. If someone is starting from ground zero, they're going into the new year, what are your top 5, 6, 7, 10, whatever steps from going from being a solo in order to grow and scale a business? What's kind of the process that they might want to follow for the new year? What does it look like?
The fundamental mistakes I made was, first of all, thinking too small. Bring it right back to yourself and your mindset. Think big, create a plan for the business. It's crazy how many businesses don't have a business plan. They don't have a 3 and 5 year projection. If you don't know where you're going as an entrepreneur and where the business is going, how can you lead your team? How can you motivate your team and your customers? If someone says, where's their career going, or where's the company I'm working for going, and you don't know, that's not a very inspiring place to work. So sit down and create a business plan. It doesn't need to be words, or it can be visual, it can be a vision board, whatever, but you need to know where your business is going. That will help you do the how. How are we going to get there once you know what the what is? So having that plan is super important. Then I would say that you need the right level of finance. Okay, debt right now is super easy to get. Banks want to loan small businesses money. It's never been an easier time to get finance. Don't sit there and say I'm on a shoestring when you don't need to be. You can get a 50, 100, 150 grand loan easy for a small business right now. If you've got that money, it takes the stress down and allows you to get the right people around you and start in the right areas to scale. If you get the fundamental things in your business, like a CRM correct, the founding team, and making sure the structuring's right, you can scale easily. But you must have simple things in place, which is finance, CRM system, sales team, and the rest will take care of itself as you scale.
That's amazing. Brilliant points. And also being a salesman. I mean, that's one thing that I don't think people work enough on, is becoming a salesman. I think spending time reading books, learning how to sell is a big important part.
Every single person in your business is in sales. I'll say it again. Every single person in your business is in sales. And if someone says they're not, get them out of your business or train them how to sell. Because if that phone rings, it's got to be answered in 2 rings. And if my accountant picks it up, someone in the back office, the front office, or the reception, they're going to deliver the same pitch in my business. And that is why my business is successful, because I do the simple things right. In the coronavirus lockdown, I won 4 deals from companies who said we were the first company to answer the phone in the lockdown. Oh, wow. It's the simple things in business that lead to success. Answering the phone quickly, being polite, knowing your stuff, being able to get a quote out quickly, answering the live chat 24/7. Simple things make the difference between being successful or unsuccessful. When I watch someone do the dishes, I know if they're going to be a successful business person or not. How you make the bed, how you do the dishes, how you answer the phone, every little bit in business matters, because it all starts in here, in the mindset of the individual, and it starts with the leader and it filters down to the whole team. And I've just managed on getting myself right first, getting a plan for my business and for my life, then getting 1 employee in, mentoring that one, mentoring the next one, and all of a sudden you turn around, you have 100 employees, and it's working like clockwork.
It's funny actually, because as we wrap up, just before we do, is when we last came to your office,
yes,
we got locked out, and I think you remember actually saying, I'm going to ring the phone and someone should pick up within 3 rings, and they did, so that's real truth.
It'd be embarrassing, right? If they didn't, and I go around saying it all the time.
So, I firsthand, they do, so that's brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Mark, it's such a pleasure to have you back. Thank you so much for sharing all that value. I always take so much away myself, and hopefully the audience, I know the audience will take a huge amount, and we'll definitely catch up soon. So thank you all for joining us, Mark.
Thank you, my friend.
Cool, thank you.